Welcome to Cook Everything. Chances are, if you found yourself here viewing this video, that you need to know or you want to know how to cook a delicious pot of black eyed peas. You've come to the right place. Stick around and I'll show you how. The first thing we're going to do is soak our black eyed peas. So here we have 1 cup of black eyed peas that we're going to soak in 4 cups of spring water. I like to use a 4-to-1 ratio of liquid to peas when I'm soaking peas. If you don't use enough liquid, then sometimes they can absorb everything and there will be nothing left, leaving them improperly soaked. So you'll notice that some peas will float to the top. That is completely fine. Just skim those and get rid of them. They're actually fine to eat. Texturally though, they're going to be kind of hollow and chewy, and they're going to put off the texture of your entire dish. So just get rid of those. This is 4 ounces of smoked hog's jowl or jowl bacon. This is going to be the meat seasoning in our dish. So we're just going to cut that into strips, and from there we're going to cut it into small dices and reserve. Here we have 1 white onion. We're going to trim the ends off of that, cut it in half, remove the skin, and to dice it we're just going to simply drag our knife backwards across the onion one way with the tip of our knife touching our cutting board, and then we're going to come back the opposite way and make our knife cuts, and some nice small dices are going to come out on the other end. Also, we're going to be prepping out 4 Roma tomatoes. Cut those into quarters like so, very simply. Just make 3 knife cuts lengthwise, and we're going to be removing the seed chamber from the tomato. The chamber is just the part of the tomato that the seeds are held. So you'll hear me referring to that middle as the chamber. So to do that, you're just going to lay out 1 tomato quarter skin side down on your cutting board and run your knife along the skin until the chamber comes away. And you will notice it's kind of like taking skin off of a fish. Then you're going to lay them out and just put the tip of your knife on your cutting board and draw it in a backward motion like so. Notice how they're all staying nicely put. After that, we're going to just dice our tomatoes, and we'll be mincing up the chambers and adding that into the dish in the beginning, and the outside here we're going to be adding in very last after the peas are finished cooking, so they kind of maintain their texture and their vibrant kind of acidity. Okay, so for us it's been about 12 hours. Yeah, we soaked these peas overnight. So we're just going to drain the water off and get ready to cook. And this is one of the most important things in this entire process, and that is preheating your pan on high heat. You want to preheat it for about 3 minutes. There's no oil in here, so you don't have to worry about it smoking, but this pot is definitely hot. This is a heavy bottom stainless steel sauce pot. Everyone should have one. If you're broke, you can find them at a thrift store. You just need it. Anyway, we're going to add in our diced pork jowl or jowl bacon, and you're going to notice immediately it's going to start getting some color on the bottom of the pot. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. This stage is all about producing fond on the bottom of our pot, and it's also about rendering some of that fat out of the hog's jowl and kind of softening that up. So as you can see, we're getting some good color in the bottom of our pan, which is perfect. Don't be afraid of all the smoke. Your fire alarm shouldn't go off. If it does, just take the battery out. So be sure you just keep on moving that around in the pot. Otherwise you might kind of overcook some pieces, but as long as you move them around, you should be fine. So once you get to this stage right here, it's been about 1 minute, you want to add your onion and turn your heat down to medium high. If you're using an electric stove, I would say number 7. So to deglaze, we're actually going to use the natural moisture found in these onions to deglaze the bottom of our pan. So as we're sweating these down, we're just going to kind of move them around a little bit just so they don't get charred from the heat. But as you turn the heat down, the heat will become less violent. So as you can see, they're starting to release a little bit of moisture. We're not quite there yet. It's going to take about a minute or a minute and a half. So just kind of keep an eye on them. You don't want to stir them the whole time. I can already see that it's starting to release a little bit of moisture. And yeah, look at all that. There's still a little bit of fond left on the bottom of the pan, but not too much. And what little bit is left will be deglazed whenever we add our liquid to this dish. So I'm not really worried about that. It's all going to add a lot of good flavor to these peas. So next we're going to be adding about 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. And whenever you add that in, you want to mix it in kind of homogenously with all the other aromatics in the pot. The reason you want to do this isn't necessarily to just mix it. It's because we want to cook that tomato paste a little bit to bring out some of the sweeter notes. Tomato paste is pretty acidic, and you always want to kind of use that principle when working with tomato paste. So we're just going to cook that down for maybe about a minute, and you can see what it should look like here. Next we're going to add in our minced tomatoes. This is important. These aren't the diced tomatoes. This is the middle part of the tomato that we removed. We just minced that up like you see here. So get that in the pot with the other ingredients, stir it up. We're going to sweat this down for about another minute or so. Again, we're on medium to medium high heat. So it's going to release a bit more moisture from the tomatoes and bring out some sweeter notes. And you can see it's been about a minute, and the tomatoes have released quite a bit of liquid there, and everything is kind of getting to know each other in that pot already, and we haven't even added our peas in. So this flavor base is what you've been missing in your life. Add in your peas that again have been pre-soaked for 12 hours in our case. You could do it in 6 hours. And then we're going to cover these peas in our duck stock. This is 1 quart or 4 cups of fresh duck stock that we made. We have another video on that. I will provide the link in the description box. And we're going to simmer them for about an hour to an hour and 25 minutes. You really just kind of want to go on the doneness of the peas. I mean, if your heat is a little bit higher, a little bit lower than mine, it might take more or less time, but this is the kind of simmer that you want to see. And for us, it was about an hour and 10 minutes or so. And the last thing you want to do is just season these to your own taste with salt. So season them with salt, stir it up, give it a taste. Always remember, you cannot take salt away from a dish, but you can always add more. So keep that in mind. And this is it. This is the good part. This is where all the work that we've done pays off. I guess I forgot to mention that we did add in our diced tomatoes after the peas were done cooking, and we just kind of folded those in. Add some color. It actually kind of adds a surprising amount of freshness to the dish. It's generally pretty rich. So these look delicious, I have to say. The liquid is important. You want to serve them with some liquid. And these are pickled red peppers. They've been quick pickled in a simple brine of equal parts water, vinegar, and sugar. If you don't like them so sweet, you could do like 1 part water, 1 part vinegar, and 1/2 part sugar. I will be making another video on how to do quick pickles in the future. As soon as I get that done, I will provide a link in the description box below. And we're also going to finish it off with some freshly cut chives. Scallions or green onions work well too. Some leeks would be excellent in this dish as well, or raw white onion I actually enjoy as a garnish as well, because I like the sharpness of it. And it wouldn't be complete unless we had a big fat chunk of cornbread. And there it is. There you have it. It's a dish all on its own. You don't need anything else to go along with this. You can make a lot of people happy just by putting that down right in front of them. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm new at this, so please bear with me. The videos will get better as I go on. Please like, subscribe if you liked it. We're going to be making a lot more kind of how-to videos on different dishes. And please leave me a comment. If you watch this video, let me know what you think. I really would appreciate your feedback. All right, thanks, and I'll see you next time.